I'd like to eat.
Oh,
So you can use
regular meat
any
instead?
I'm sorry?
type.
Yeah, anytime.
強い。
Spearmint, peppermint, black mint, they have something called pineapple.
いい匂いだけど強い。
Yeah, any of those would be fine. And the dill, again,
Black mint.
if we're using the dill in the restaurant, we're going to break off each little leaf separately.
Yeah.
And because that's the proper way to do it. That's the way people are expecting. They're spending a lot of money. It's a high-class hotel. They're expecting to see that type of level. But I think if you're at home, just take off this whole part and use it. It's good. Okay? I mean, technically, you could eat the whole thing. It's all edible. But if you bite into the stem when you're eating your salmon or whatever you're eating, you might get a really strong blast and overpower the dish that you're working with. So I probably wouldn't use the thickest part. But I don't think you need to worry about the little ones. Dill, yeah, dill's easy to find.
Oh, we use it in a lot of things, but I don't think she knew to take off the...
生食のこと生食
はい、違う。
So I'm going to chop that up along with the mint. Even parts are probably good. Well, you know what we didn't talk about yet? We didn't talk about dry herbs. Why do you want to use dry herbs and not fresh herbs? Why would you do that? There's a lot of different reasons. The main reason is flavor. Anytime you dry anything, the flavor changes completely. Think about a tomato. It tastes one way right now. If you dry it, sun-dried tomato, it tastes completely different. Or with dried fruits, dried apples, anything, raisins, anything that you dry changes 100%. It becomes something completely different. So if I'm making tomato sauce and I want to put oregano in it, I'm going to use dry oregano and I'm going to let it cook in there for a long time. And then I have that classic taste. If I'm doing something different, new or offbeat, like let's say I'm making cream sauce with scallops and I want to use fresh oregano in there, I put them at the very last minute, finish it with that. And then the flavor is completely different, dried oregano and fresh oregano. That goes for all the herbs. Like dill, you know there's the dry dill. It doesn't compare to fresh dill. It's completely different. But it's appropriate in some applications. Also the color is locked in. If I use dried dill, and let's say I'm making dill scones for some reason, and I put fresh dill in the dough and I bake them, then it's going to turn black. But if I put the dried dill in there, the color's locked. So it's going to stay as is, just like that. Also, the flavor is different. So there's reasons behind having dried herbs, and there are good reasons. I mean, historically, we have dried herbs obviously because we want to keep them a long time. You know, we don't have refrigerators. There's no 7-Eleven, there's no 24-hour supermarket or anything. So things had to be dried, things had to be pickled, things had to be cured. That's where all that comes from. And then just people over the years, they get used to those flavors and they like that. So it becomes tradition. Maybe I talk too much.
No. She needs to translate this for them.
I'll put a little salt and pepper on there too.
That's a very important point, I think, because there are so many herbs now in the supermarket.
Sure.
Dried herbs all lined up.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and we don't know the
Yeah,
good points of them.
Yeah, that's the way. If you're using it raw, then you want to use raw herbs. If you're cooking it, sometimes you want to use dried herbs. And you have to think about what flavor it's going to be to you too.
Flavor and color.
Flavor, color, texture, everything.
Mint. Mint.
Okay, now we're going to start cooking.
きゅうりとネギ。ミントとディルと Yes.